Sci-Man.
Hey folks, Sci-Man here with another video about my master's research degree project, which I've been doing at Edinburgh Napier University this year. It's about the sound of UK hip hop in the 1990s and the way that it differentiated itself from its American hip hop origins. And I'm looking at some of the cultural things that were specific to the UK that became part of the way that DJs and producers built a genre which a lot of people then started to call trip hop. I make a bit of a case for the word trip hop being particularly applicable to the UK instrumental sound. But overall, it's about culture and it's about identities for people so that they can feel like they really connect with a music genre that speaks to them about their own lives, which is so fundamentally important in hip hop. So I'm going to start by reading a little section of my research project, and then I'm going to play some musical examples. So first of all, from the paper itself, in a chapter about the instrumental sound called The DJ Takes Over. The UK form of hip hop sampling became more complex through the necessity to carry a track without vocals. Mark Ray of AIM and Ray and Christian, and owner of Grand Central Records, states in an interview, "You know, hip hop producers just need to find a good loop and then get a rapper on it. In the UK, we had to work harder to find multiple samples to get more hooks to carry the music. It was driven by a passion for music and record collecting, and it felt like I could put my hand into a record bag and delve into all of recorded history looking for something usable, a horn stab or an a cappella or something like that. I even once sampled a Paul Horn flute loop and then accidentally leaned on the keyboard playing it pitched about 2 octaves down, and it became something else, something wonderful." The sampler had become more than simply a way to record and repeat a segment of another recording. In the hands of these producers, it became a musical instrument in its own right. And it became synonymous with this UK approach to hip hop that sets it apart from its American influences. So that's a little bit piece of the chapter about building the UK instrumental sound. Although I'm talking about Mark Ray from Grand Central Records, I've done another video featuring an example of that. So this time I'm going to play something from the Wiseguys' first debut album called Executive Suite on Wall of Sound Records. Unfortunately, I was not able to get in touch with Theo Keating or DJ Touche. First of all, I'm just going to play the Wiseguys track. This is Casino Sans Pareil from the Executive Suite album. And first I'm going to talk about the drum sample. So here is a little section of the track where the drum sample comes in for the first time. Oh, I'm probably way over the copyright limit there. I just can't turn it off. What I want to draw your attention to is the way that he has used the drums. Whenever the initial sort of melody, the little trumpet melody stops and it breaks down to just the bass line and the drums, he uses the drum kit as something for you to listen to. I am hypnotized by that. Every little bar is slightly different. There's a different volume. He's taken little elements of the original drum loop, chopped them up, put them all in the sampler, boosted them with EQ and processing and stuff, so they've got a big sound. These guys were aiming this music at being played through club speakers, so you had to really deliver punchy, good, hard sounding drums to get people up on the dance floor to that. So you can hear how he's treated that and then programmed it really cleverly so that each bar has got something, some little variation to listen to. I'm going to play the original drum loop where he says, so you can hear the difference between the two sounds. And this is from James Taylor and the Flying Machine, 1971, Knockin' Round the Zoo. And here is the drum break. Oh, go and listen to the rest of that song. So I'm just going to take the Wiseguys back a little bit here and play that again. Bigger, fatter, more modern sounding. I say, unfortunately, I didn't get to speak to DJ Touche or DJ Regal, the two guys who made up the Wiseguys at that stage. So I really don't know what they've done there. I don't know if that is layers of different samples all put together, as lots of people do. I don't know if it's just EQ and compressor on those drum hits, but you can hear that he has chopped it up in the sampler and programmed it himself, even though the sort of main groove is still the same, but he's taken that just so they can do little fills and little variations. And that was such a big thing about UK hip-hop inspired or trip-hop music. It was all about the drums, and like I say, for me, I'm just hypnotized by that. I could listen to that forever, just the drum variations. Okay, so there's the drums, right? Moving on. Unfortunately, with I'm just using whosampled.com here, and the main kind of harpsichord sounding thing, it's not on there, and I cannot find. I don't know what it is. By the way, if anybody has got answers to any of these questions, hit me up in the comments below. I'd love to know. While I'm at it, if you totally disagree with everything I'm saying, then come at me, bro. Let me know down below. Anyway, so what I do get from Who Sampled is the Ennio Morricone samples and the James Bond themes. So let's start with the main sort of trumpet thing, which is here in Casino Sans Pareil. So I'll play the Wiseguys first here as a clip. Oh, I could listen to that all day. Okay, and here is Ray Funky Trumpet Davies playing the theme from You Only Live Twice, the Bond movie, from the album Funky Trumpet on Broadway, released in 1967. So here is the sample source. Oh, wonderful. So you can hear, I think he's pitched that sample ever so slightly, or slowed it down, or something like that. You know, he's also chopped it quite cleverly, I think, before the end of that little riff. It kind of almost makes it where in the Wiseguys you can recognize it, but almost not recognize it. You know, which was also part of this kind of sample ethics that these guys had. It was, you know, use tiny little bits of things, really cleverly mixed in, so that you've got melody elements, but it's not just, hey, here's a sample from this theme from a Bond movie, you know. I'll just play it again from the Wiseguys track. Cutting it off like that at the end there, it just makes it kind of almost makes it look better, makes it sound more like it's a repetitive idea, you know what I mean? So there you go, that's Ray Funky Trumpet Davies. And then Ennio Morricone, the legendary Ennio Morricone, with this sample from The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, motion picture soundtrack. Again, that was a big thing for these guys. When you look at the sample choices, so much of it comes from, all these old vinyl records with movie themes and TV show soundtracks. So again, I'll play the Wiseguys. Here is Casino Sans Pareil, and this is where the Ennio Morricone sample comes in. Again with the drum programming. Okay, so there you go, and here is Ennio. I never want to switch any of these pieces of music off. Yeah, so you can hear. I think you can hear. I don't think he's pitched. I don't think the Wiseguys. I don't think they've pitched it or anything like that. It's I think the Ennio thing sounds a little bit slower. The Wiseguys maybe time stretch that. It's a audio processing thing you can do where you maintain the pitch of the music, but you change the length of the parts or the timing. However, it could just be that they've taken little elements of it separately into the sampler so they can play each individual part of the horn, it's each individual note, and arrange it a little bit better for the song. Again, I unfortunately didn't get to speak to these guys on this occasion. So anybody, any answers? Great, let me know. But to summarise, the reason I'm looking at these musical examples is because whenever it came to these UK producers who were obviously inspired by American hip hop, they wanted to make hip hop, they wanted to make breakbeat music. It's mid tempo kind of stuff, but it's also aimed at a club audience. It's not downbeat music. It's funky. It's all about breakbeats. But one of the elements that they used was turning samplers into kind of like the lead instrument. There's no vocal at all in this song. Some of my other videos have been talking about the way that they used vocal samples. No vocal. Well, apart from the Ennio, you can hear the kind of the choir doing oohs and ahs in the background, but no words at all. Just like a jazz song. It's like listening to a beautiful jazz band, but with that repetitive hook thing, so tasteful, so beautifully delivered, and with all of that drum programming backing it up there. And it just ties in with the part of the research that I was reading before, talking about using multiple little sections of samples in order to create a flow and a coherent piece of music without having an MC or a rapper, because the big thing about the 1990s was that the UK rap scene, the UK rap voice, was still finding its feet. So it wasn't easy for any of these guys to find rappers that they could work with, and there really wasn't such a strong, authentic UK rap voice that was there. So they had to get around that. They still wanted to make hip hop, but they did it using samplers instead of MCs, which really is the big thing that differentiates it from its American roots. And I think one of the things that makes it applicable to call it trip hop instead of hip hop, because that creates a UK identity. Then you can bond with it. You can feel that you are part of it. So, thanks very much for listening. You can find my website below. There's always a link in the description for the video where you can see other little sections of the research, some more video content, and of course a link to the full research paper itself. And I'm hoping that you can comment or anything like that on the video. Like I say, if you disagree, please let me know. Or if you agree, come at me. Thanks very much for listening. Sci-Man out.
Fine, man.